This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
We get it all, but this is a really, if you live in the community, you really know who we are.
They're seeing an outpouring of support, but black business owners say the work can't end there when it comes to equality in their communities.
Tonight, we're learning the next steps for Marion County's reopening plan. We have the timeline of what you'll be able to do and when.
As businesses open up and more people go back to work, more kids are going back to daycare. What childcare providers must do to keep your kids safe and the help they're getting with that. Welcome into the News at 6. I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins.
First at 6, more people are seeking out and supporting black-owned businesses. This as protests continue calling for equality and changes to the way law enforcement interacts with the black community. Tonight, business owners tell RTV6's Nicole Griffin the renewed interest is nice, but more needs to be done to level the playing field.
Pond Mod's Backyard Barbecue opened this location here at the corner of College and Fairfield Avenues back in February, but they've been part of the Indianapolis community for more than 20 years. I talked to the owner here about why support for his business is important every day of the year.
There's a grilled chicken, that's ribs right there, you know, more ribs, and then we got the ribs.
Pond Mod's Backyard Barbecue is a place families on the north side rely on for a healthy meal.
We're known for good soul food.
Owner George Nelson says there isn't a microwave in the building. The focus is on fresh, local food.
There's not another healthy food place here where you can actually get fresh vegetables, not just fried food.
He says recently his business has received more attention as people choose to spend their money at black-owned businesses, something he appreciates but says there is more work to do.
Police brutality has been going on for so long. I'm 52 years old, and I've experienced it, I've seen it. I think if we start really focusing on the police brutality and the access to capital for small black businesses so we can build our community.
On the south side at the Healthy Food Cafe, we met 2 women who were first-time customers.
We saw a post about black-owned businesses, and this was one of them, and we were really close by, so we just decided to stop and have some lunch.
Being a minority myself, I think it's important for all of us to have solidarity within each other. We could have supported a chain, but we're supporting like a bigger cause, I think.
I think it's amazing. I'm glad people are, coming out, supporting, and, just giving us a chance so they can actually see that we have some really good products.
Ribs, chicken, got fish, pork chop.
At Pond Mod's, Nelson hopes the support of small, locally owned black businesses continues long past this month.
It really doesn't matter if you're black or white. If you live in this community, that we begin to rotate our money in our community.
So businesses like his can keep their doors open and continue serving local families. Working for you, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
An Indiana sheriff is renewing his support for body cameras in his department. Bartholomew County Sheriff Matthew Myers just wrote a public letter calling for body and vehicle cameras. This comes at a time of renewed attention across the country on police accountability. Myers first requested body cameras for the sheriff's department in 2016, but at the time, the funding wasn't possible. Myers is urging all Bartholomew County residents to contact their county council representative to make their voices heard on body cameras. Here's a portion of Sheriff Myers' letter. He writes, quote, "As a sheriff, I've made this a top priority for funding this year. We have several viable quotes from nationally recognized suppliers, and we have great input from other policing agencies that currently use this technology. We feel we are ready to make our case and move forward with this non-negotiable priority," end quote. The Bartholomew County Council will have to approve any funding for those body cameras.
What a difference a day makes. We have sunny skies and much cooler weather today around central Indiana. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory joins us with what you need to know for the rest of the night and into your Friday. Kevin.
And you don't need to know a lot. That's the good news. I'm not going to flood you with information. It's been a relaxing day in the weather office. Yesterday, we had our storms and humidity. Today, lots of sunshine and a few fair weather clouds and comfortable temperatures. The wind, it's still gusting around 30 miles per hour during the afternoon, but it'll be west 10 to 15 tonight. The clouds that you see out your window now will disappear tonight. We'll go mostly clear. Temperatures eventually winding down to about 59. 84 in Frankfurt, 81 in Logansport, otherwise upper 70s. Marion to Anderson, down to the south. Spencer's at 85, 79 in Columbus. Temperatures tomorrow will be warmer, but with the humidity at the bottom of the scale, not just for tomorrow, but the next 4 days, it'll make it feel so much better. Tomorrow, we'll start at 63 degrees. By lunchtime, temperature already pushing 80, and your afternoon high, 84 degrees. We'll talk about what changes as we go into the weekend coming up in just a bit.
Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett is outlining his plan to further reopen Marion County. He just announced Stage 4 will begin next Friday, June 19th. That is 1 week behind the rest of the state. Megan Sanctorum explains what Stage 4 means and how some businesses like the zoo are preparing now to open for the first time since March.
Zoo leaders say they are ready to welcome people back in through these gates, and they say while your experience may be a little different, they say it'll be one you won't forget. It's been a long time since any guests have walked the paths here at the Indianapolis Zoo, but that is about to change next week.
Marion County public health officials are now suggesting we proceed to Stage 4.
Stage 4 means tourism and entertainment sites like the zoo will be allowed to open at 50% capacity. It also means retail stores will be able to operate at 100%, restaurants and indoor religious services at 75%, bars and nightclubs at 50%. Zoo leaders say limiting the number of people inside at once is just part of their plan.
We're confident that we took safety into consideration and health, and everything that we came up with is a sound plan to reopen.
You'll notice hand sanitizing stations and markings on the ground telling people where to stand. You'll also need an assigned ticket time or reservation before entering the zoo. You'll be able to sign up and purchase those online. Everyone who enters will have their temperature taken at the door, and masks are encouraged. Between that and fewer guests inside at one time, zoo leaders say a trip now will be safer and more unique than before.
You're not fighting a crowd. You might get closer up to the tiger who we see walking on the other side of here. You might get to spend a little more time with your family and quiet where you're not so crowded.
Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
Megan, thank you. Also allowed under Phase 4, which begins next Friday in Marion County, employees can return to work at office buildings at full capacity. Gyms and fitness centers can open at 100% capacity. Daycare, summer camps, and other programs can open with social distancing guidelines. And while Marion County has its own reopening rules, most of the state will enter Stage 4 of the governor's reopening plan tomorrow. Here are the changes to expect in Stage 4. Up to 250 people will be allowed at social gatherings. Restaurant dining rooms will be allowed to open at 75% capacity. Bars and nightclubs can open at 50% capacity. Retail stores and malls can open at full capacity. Museums, zoos, aquariums, movie theaters, bowling alleys, amusement parks, and water parks will open at 50% capacity. Again, this list does not apply to Marion County since they have their own reopening plan.
New state numbers show an increase in both the number of new COVID-19 cases and deaths. Today, the Indiana State Department of Health confirms 449 new coronavirus cases. That's 110 more cases than the state reported yesterday. Since the pandemic started, 38,748 people in Indiana have been diagnosed with the virus. The Department of Health also reports 25 new COVID-19 deaths. That's an increase from yesterday. So far, 2,198 Hoosiers have died from coronavirus. More than 327,000 Hoosiers have been tested for COVID-19, and less than 12% have tested positive for it. The state also says about 38% of its intensive care unit beds are now available. COVID-19 patients are using 13% of Indiana's ICU beds. Non-COVID-19 patients are using about 49% of those beds. Nearly 84% of the state's ventilators are available as well.
Hoosiers are still filing for unemployment in unprecedented numbers, even 3 months into the coronavirus pandemic. New figures from the Department of Labor show more than 23,600 people in Indiana filed initial claims for unemployment last week. That's actually a slight increase from the previous week, which saw more than 22,900 Hoosiers file. In the week since the pandemic began, more than 750,000 people in Indiana have filed for unemployment. To put that in perspective, about 191,000 people filed for unemployment in all of 2019. And as you just saw, many people are without a job, but companies are still hiring during this pandemic. And the goal of Hiring Hoosiers is to highlight those employment opportunities for you. It's time for the Hiring Hoosiers job feed. Everdry Waterproofing in Indianapolis needs a recruiting manager to oversee the company's hiring. You will manage interviewing and employment processes. Generations Grill and Sports Bar in Richmond is hiring cooks, delivery drivers, servers, and bartenders. The business is looking for people with a stable job history. Oakland Fine Catering in Indianapolis is looking for an events manager as well as servers, bar managers, bartenders, station attendants, and runners. You'll work between 10 and 40 hours a week. Indiana University Health needs a school LPN in Washington Township. LPN stands for Licensed Practical Nurse. And you can find these jobs and many more on our job board at hiringhoosiers.com. We also have a link to the application process. Plus, check out the Hiring Hoosiers Facebook page. Companies also post open positions there.
Getting back to work in a post-COVID-19 era is presenting new challenges to different industries. For the childcare industry, keeping kids and staff safe is a top priority. RTV6's Stephanie Wade shares what help is available for providers as they have new expenses to meet health and safety requirements.
The past few months have been difficult for many industries, childcare being one of them.
Across the state, about a third of providers closed temporarily. The other 2/3 stayed open, but serving far fewer children in most cases.
Despite constant disinfecting and cleaning, parents have been apprehensive to send their children to daycare. So places like Little Duckling Daycare on the east side had to close for 5 weeks.
It's just not enough to soothe their minds when they hear, what's going on, or may have even been affected by COVID-19.
But thanks to the Early Learning Indiana Comeback Stronger Fund with support from the Lilly Endowment, they're helping childcare providers do just that, offering grants from $3,000 to $40,000 to help facilities make the necessary health and safety changes post-COVID.
Childcare providers operate on really razor-thin margins. It's hard business to be in the very best of times, and we know that these past few months have been anything but the best of times.
The children, they love being with their friends. They were away from them for 5 weeks, so they're trying to play with each other's toys, and so I want to be able to get enough materials so that every child can have their own.
Little Duckling Daycare was one of the lucky recipients. The director tells me the funds will go toward additional equipment to safely prepare meals and more furniture to socially distance students.
If they did not have that opportunity, we wouldn't be able to afford the equipment, the supplies. And so I'm so appreciative.
We know that it's an essential part of the economic engine of the state. And so we want to help providers make sure that they can do the things that they need to do to make families confident in returning their children to care.
Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Early Learning Indiana is evaluating applications on a rolling basis. They have a total of $15 million to give to eligible providers statewide. They allocate funds once a week and say they want to get the money into the hands of providers as quick as they can. To apply, we have a link on our website right now. That's at theindychannel.com.
The pandemic is creating even more challenges and making sure everyone has enough to eat. So WRTV is teaming up with Kroger and Second Helpings to get meals into the hands of those who are struggling to put food on the table.
From June 15th to June 21st, whenever you shop at select Central Indiana Kroger stores, you can round up your grocery bill, or you can select a donation amount of your choice when you check out. The proceeds will go directly to Second Helpings. Working together, WRTV and the Scripps Howard Foundation will match up to $12,000 in donations. You can find out more at your Kroger store or at theindychannel.com/feedinghoosiers.
Zionsville's Main Street is closed to traffic, but they are open for business. I'm Brad Brown. It is a Boone County block party as they're dining al fresco here tonight. We'll show you how this all came together coming up on the news at 6.
And what a great night to dine out, and it will be tomorrow night and into the weekend. I'll have that weekend forecast and a temporary warm-up. It'll be brief. We'll be back after this.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
As businesses across the state continue to reopen, many people are getting out to eat for the first time in quite a while.
And the town of Zionsville is giving them a place to gather, turning a night out into a socially distant social affair. Brad Brown joins us live to explain. Hey, Brad, that looks like a blast.
Mark and Amanda, they have a great crowd up here tonight. Main Street is closed off a couple of blocks here in downtown Zionsville, but the historic bricks are the perfect spot for people to come out, not only support these local restaurants, but get themselves a table, bring your own chairs, bring your own selves to enjoy this. It's a total community effort here as they get on board to get back to the bricks. When dining out turns into a night on the town, Zionsville has got it all set up for a proper party.
We immediately at the town called the chamber and said, let's partner on this, and the town council, and it was terrific. I mean, all of these folks just pulled together and said, well, we'll figure out the logistics and make it happen.
A night on the bricks is Zionsville's way of getting together and taking care of their own. Main Street is the heartbeat of this town.
We have a competitive advantage with the brick street, and I think everybody loves it and they want to show it off and have an opportunity to bring people even outside of Zionsville, and we all dig in and help each other.
This Main Street bricks, the community of business owners who have something unique to share with our community and the communities around us, this is a defining aspect of our town.
With a few tables in place, Thursdays are being set aside for people to take their takeout out for the evening.
You know, we're thrilled that we're able to get outside tonight and show the community, you know, that there's a community here that loves our restaurants and our retailers.
Many of these restaurants have been getting by on carryout only for the past several weeks. Town officials even put special takeout parking spots in place.
From the very beginning, the first thing we wanted to do is what can we do immediately to make it easier for our residents to do business with our business owners.
But now, seeing some smiles in the seats feels like a big step forward.
It has been wonderful. I mean, it's kind of, it was going well, but we were getting to a point where this is not what we signed up for. We are not people who stay behind closed doors. We talk to people. We are people persons, and it's been great.
Socially distant, but making it a social function. It may feel a bit different, but another example of a community coming together.
At the end of the day, this is going to be a place where people want to support those restaurants and retailers because they love their neighbors, and this really is a show of support for neighbor helping neighbor.
This is a perfect event for customers as much as it is for us to see people again.
There's a great crowd out here tonight as it's kind of a step up from their first Thursday last week. Organizers are hoping they can add some live music, and again, they will increase the crowds as the state moves into phase 4 of Governor Holcomb's Back on Track plan. That'll be next Thursday. The plan right now is to take this just past the 4th of July, but demand continues much like this. This could go on all summer up here on Main Street in downtown Zionsville. It is a perfect night out tonight for some al fresco dining, certainly. And Kevin Gregory, it sounds like that weather might continue through the weekend as he joins us now with our Storm Team forecast.
Yes, sir. Sunshine on the streets in Zionsville now, and sunshine through the weekend. All 92 counties are going to have a good stretch of weather. Let's follow the bouncing ball. Talk about your weekend as more pools start to open up. I think the water temperature will be warming up as well, although cool mornings, and by cool mornings, some in the 50s Saturday and Sunday. Afternoon temperatures, they're in the 70s with low humidity and lots of sunshine. Pretty good combination. Let's talk about the humidity level. We're at the bottom of the scale Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then you notice we start to climb a bit and we get back to more humid conditions, but not until the middle of next week. With that moisture surge will come a surge in our afternoon temperatures. 83 in Lafayette, 79 in Greencastle, lower 80s in Terre Haute, Bedford, eastern portion of the state. Temperature Richmond right now in Wayne County at 76. During the nighttime hours, here's your wind forecast, and these are the wind gusts. They will calm down, generally 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the west. If you opened your windows last night, I think you'll want to do the same tonight. Temperatures drop into the upper 50s to lower 60s. Sunrise just after 6, and you see what happens. We warm up fairly quickly. Tomorrow will be a warm day, although with the humidity low, it won't feel that bad. 80 degrees at noon, 87 the high in Columbus, 86 in Bloomington and Terre Haute, otherwise low to mid 80s elsewhere. Weekend details, temperatures mid 70s Saturday and Sunday. Coolest morning Sunday, 52. That's the way we start. We finish nicely. Saturday hourly forecast, all that sunshine and temperatures just slowly work their way into the low to mid 70s for the afternoon high. Slightly cool in the northern portion of the state, a little warmer to the south. Sunday, still a nice day. The humidity is low. Temperatures in the mid 70s. And if you're looking for the warm up, you'll find it. By Wednesday of next week, temperatures are back into the upper 80s. They'll stay there as well on Thursday. Our rain chances are minimal anywhere in the 7-day planner, so that's kind of unusual, at least so far this spring, that we've been able to string these 7 days like this together without any rainfall. We'll be back with more news right after this.
For trusting us with your care.
Welcome back. Today's RTV6 photo of the day comes to us from Taylor Doyle. Taylor's dog Whiskey the Cockapoo is enjoying a nice spring day.
You can see all of the pretty flowers behind Whiskey there. Well, they look like they could be actually dandelions there. Either way, that's still a great picture, isn't it?
Absolutely. Thanks to Taylor Doyle for sharing this photo with us. Send us your photo of the day. Email it to news@WRTV.com.
It could be a picture of your pet, your kids, yourself, nature, or anything interesting that you stumble upon. We'd like to see it.
All right, temperatures during the evening hours. Everything's going to look good this evening. Clouds will gradually fade away. Sun sets at 9:13, and after the sun sets, we go mostly clear. We'll be at 70 degrees at 10.
Thank you for making RTV6 your choice for news. Join us again for the news at 7.